MS Limited, Justine Martin's about to come out and tell you a little bit more about it. Obviously, this was a real passion of Chrissy's to help with these causes, also with the I Touch Myself cause as well. So I'm going to hand over to Justine. She's a local girl as well, so from Clifton Springs, and to tell you a bit more about it. Justine Martin, everybody, put your hands together and keep quiet.
Hi everyone, I'm Justine. I've actually got MS. So MS stands for multiple sclerosis. MS, there is no cure. There is no cure whatsoever for us. Now, I pretty much look normal, but I have a lot of symptoms that you just can't see, as did Chrissy. MS affects, there's over 23,000 people in Australia at the moment that are currently diagnosed, with 1,000 people every year adding to that list, which works out to be 4 in every working day that are diagnosed. There's a lot of people out there that aren't diagnosed because they don't realise that the symptoms that they're actually feeling could be MS. Now, some of my symptoms are my feet are numb, sometimes up to my knees. I have cognitive issues. I can't count anymore, which might sound a bit strange. So therefore I can't work. My previous life, as I like to refer it, was in retail. And when you can't count money, it makes it extremely difficult. Thank goodness for plastic cards, because I can still shop. But I can't hide what I've bought anymore, because there's a paper trail, so to speak, for it. I've got a man's brain now, guys. I so know what it's like. I can't multitask at all anymore. It is so frustrating. I totally get it. As a female, I totally get that male brain thing. Short-term memory is another issue. So if you come up and introduce yourself and your names, I will not remember at all. But I can remember things like 30 years ago that just blow people away. Like I said, there is no cure, but we do, most of us that have MS are on what's called DMTs, which are disease-modifying therapies, and they cost a lot of money. The one that I'm presently on at the moment is an oral pill that I take once a day, and it costs, it's around about $1,800 for every 28 days. Yeah, now, and that's covered under the PBS, so I get that at a very discounted rate. I'm on a disabled pension because I can't work, but I took up a pen and a paintbrush and started to learn how to paint 4 years ago, and have become quite successful with that. You may have seen me in a bit of the media in the last 12 months. Life doesn't stop when you become disabled, it just takes on a new meaning. Which Chrissy, I've done a lot of research this week into Chrissy's journey with MS, and she was diagnosed in around about 2006, 2007, and she's an ongoing ambassador to all of us that have the disease, and all we want is a cure. The impact that it has on the Australian population is close to $1 billion a year, which is a lot of money. So in order for us to find a cure, we need money. And tonight there's tins going around. Jim's got one, and a few other people in the crowd have got one. That money won't actually go to research. That money goes directly to people like me. It'll buy mobility aids. It'll help send someone out for the day if they're stuck at home, because it becomes very, very lonely when you are stuck and you feel that there's no one there. It'll also help for counselling, because you can imagine what it's like when you're first diagnosed and you think the world's just closing in around you. So it'll go directly to people like me. If you've got any further questions, feel free tonight to come up and ask me. Yes, I'm an MS ambassador, but I've also been living with this disease since I was 9. My mum had MS, so at the age of 9 I became her carer, and I was diagnosed myself at the age of 2 weeks after I turned 40. So most people are diagnosed between the ages of 20 and 40, and the majority of us are women. not so much men. Though they are diagnosing young children now with it as well. Diagnosing it it's not just a simple case of going and having a blood test. It takes a lot of time and effort and money to actually diagnose it as well. It took them about 7 months to work out that I actually had it. And then there's procedures like lumbar punctures and CAT scans and lovely MRIs. If you've ever had an MRI, you'll know how unpleasant they are. So every 6 months I continue to have one of those to check the brain damage, and I've had new brain damage this year. So they're working out whether the meds that I'm on are working or not. And it's not a simple case again. I'm having a blood test to see if that happens. It's a waiting game. I've got to wait until February before I have another MRI, and then see if there's any further brain damage between now and then. So I'll know before then, because some part of my body may stop working. So a few more of my symptoms are I have vision problems. I can't often drive because of it, so I catch lots of taxis. You'll see me around Geelong either using a walking stick, who I've named Moses because he parts the crowd, and I also have a really nice wheelchair which the NDIA have come to the party with. But I'd really like it if you could pop a few loose change coins into the tins tonight, and have a good night, and thank you everyone for letting me